I pretty much started making music when I was 13. Well, actually, I remember writing music ever since I was very little. I mean, I remember being on my swing set when I was like 3 years old, as far as I can remember, and just thinking of tunes and thinking of songs, but I never really wrote them down because I just thought, oh, they're just, I'm just making stuff up, And then when I was maybe like 7, I started writing things in my journals and started writing poems and just writing. I mostly wrote about nature or friends or people that I could relate to, and it just pretty much became like, I guess, a hobby or an outlet. But I really started composing a lot more when I turned 13, and my parents divorced that year, so I was kind of like a loner kid. I was kind of like a latchkey kid. I just went to school and came home, and I didn't really do sports, and I didn't really do anything else in school, so I just kind of spent most of my time with music, and that kind of became my communication with how I felt. It was like my communication with me. And when I got a guitar when I was 13, it was my aunt. She gave me this green guitar, and it was really cute, and it was just something she found in her garage, and I picked it up and I started writing songs with some chords that I learned from a Bob Marley song, and I just started using those chords for like writing my own music, and it just became a way of expression for me and a way of healing for me, because I didn't really have a lot of people to talk to about stuff, so I just kind of put my stories into my music, and that became who I was. And if anybody was able to relate to that or heal through that, that's what I wanted. And for people to hear that and just be able to relate to it and then be like, yeah, you know what, I feel that way too. And then there was a song I wrote about just getting old and starting to feel like, oh man, I might die tomorrow, I might die today, but you kind of have to make the most out of life. So it just kind of became like a message, like a way of saying what you need to say. And I mean, I kind of spaced out into art too, because I like art and I like painting and I like drawing. So that just became my full-on kind of branching out into different fields of art. And yeah. Oh man, I don't know. I think maybe my aunt and uncle, and they're not blood related, but they've kind of adopted me because they've known me since I was 3 years old, and I kind of was hanging out with them all the time. So, she's the one my aunt's the one that gave me the green guitar, and so, when she gave it to me, I came back like a year later and I was like, hey, by the way, I wrote like 9 songs. So I played it for them, and they're like, we need to get you somewhere and performing and blah, 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 blah. So I went to the studio. There was some studio in Fresno, and I recorded my songs and just got them on a disc so that they're there and I remember them and I remember how they go. So, and then I think also when I was a kid, I used to go camping all the time. And there was a song I wrote about a lake. It's called Ward Lake, and it's really pretty. It's like 22 miles up from Huntington, and it was just so gorgeous that I don't know. I was sitting in a boat, and I was writing this song, and I wrote it in like one day, and then I played it for my brother. I was like, hey, come to the middle of the lake with me. I'm gonna play this song for you. And it was just about nature, and it was about trees and the wind and smiling and feeling like this is what's here for you, and just being in the moment of things. So I guess just family. That's who I would normally share my music with. Ooh, one of the places I've played at was Art Hop, and I actually started playing at Starving Artist Bistro. I was like 16 years old, and Bob told me, hey, he goes, hey, you play music, right? So go on stage, just go up there. And I was like, what? Just go up there? And he's like, yeah, just go, And I was on stage for like 4 hours, and my family was just keep going, and I'm tired already, and they're like, just go over it, just loop every song, just keep going. So that's what I did. And then after that, I never would have thought that I would have been here, but like a year after that, I just kind of, people started hitting me up for gigs, and they're like, hey, by the way, do you want to play at Art Hop? Or, oh, do you want to play at Cornerstone? Or do you want to play at like 559? Or do you want to play at this bar that, and I started going around town and like playing at Art Hop venues, and then I started getting hired, and then I started, one of the coolest times I remember playing was, it was at Cornerstone Coffee Company, and I was playing a song. I was playing More Than Words by Extreme, and people just started dancing, and it was cool because it was like this couple just started dancing, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're dancing, they like it, So, and it was cute. I don't know. I guess just as long as people are intimate with it, and as long as people feel it, and as long as it gets you to move, I think that's what music is about. Mm-hmm. Ooh, for the most part, I feel like my idols, I only recently really started, I guess, feeling out other artists, but I always liked Nina Simone, and I always kind of had a favor for the blues, and because I like minor chords, and I like the bluesy kind of atmosphere, like almost like a smoky lounge. But I like Nina Simone. I like Etta James, Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday. I love Louis Armstrong, Ray Charles. And then later on, I kind of started getting into Jimi Hendrix. Like and Led Zeppelin because of the guitar and just his soul. Like he just freaking and I just have good memories listening to that music. So, I really liked the Mamas and the Papas, because I kind of started, of course everybody's gonna say, oh, I like the Beatles. I did, I loved the Beatles. I actually had this emo phase where I liked Bullet for My Valentine and like 3 Days Grace and Apocalyptica. So I could say I could listen to pretty much anything except country. Yeah, I like this environment. The first time I came here, I just came to check it out, and because I knew I was gonna play here, so I came here the day before just to check out the venue and feel out the vibe, and automatically I felt like I was family here. Like they knew me and I knew them, and I met Gabe here, and he was just like, oh, you're Kat, oh, you're gonna play here. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, well, would you like some water? And automatically it was like this hospitality that I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel like family, like I feel like welcome here. And playing here, it's cool because it's in the middle of nowhere, but there's so much people here all the time. Like every time I come here, there's so much people, and I'm like, wow, where did everybody come from? But and everybody's always nice. Like everybody's, you get the same crowd coming in sometimes, and regulars, and everybody that I've met here is respectful, and the staff here is respectful, and they're always sweet. They're always like, hey honey, what would you like, and do you need anything, and and Justin and everybody's here to help you, and everybody's here to, like, if you need anything, if it's like I feel at home, and I feel like this is a good spot to be. And it's right on the river, and it's like and it's chill here. Well, music to me it's something that I feel like I need to do. Because anything that I do that's other than music, I always kind of get brought back to music. Because no matter what's going on in my life, music always finds its way back in. And it's like something that's inevitable. And it's always going to come back. If you love it, it's always going to come back. So, I kind of just gave up trying to do something else, and I just decided to keep going and just focus on music, because I like performing, and I like spilling myself to people, and I think music is a way of bringing people together, and it's a way of getting people on the same vibe, on the same frequency, because you can have a group of people in a room, and you turn on music and it's like instant, everybody and it's the same vibe. It's like, I feel like I just want to put out my message to the world, and whatever I'm going through, I know that other people would relate, and they'd be able to heal, they'd be able to move on, whether it's past relationships, whether it's worrying, whether it's doubting, or whether it's thinking about the future or what could happen in your life. And a lot of music nowadays, I feel like it's hard to relate to some things, because a lot of things, at least the things I listen to on the radio are they're all about the club, and they're all about the same stuff and material stuff, and I want to make something substantial, and I want to make something that people can walk away from and think, wow, they've walked away with a message that they can remember, and that it can stay stuck in their mind, and think, you know what, okay, I'm feeling this, and this is how it can be, and it can be positive, it can be negative, but are you going to choose the positive or the negative? And it kind of gives people a choice, because there's so much music out there, and it's a frequency, and it's a vibe, and you put that vibe on other people, and they feel it, and they start dancing, and they start smiling, or they can start crying. And it all depends on what you put out there. So, to me, some people chase the fame, some people chase the popularity and the money, but I don't really, I grew up like a gypsy, like I don't really care about money, and I'm kind of an introvert, so I don't really care about fame either. So I think the reason I do it is just to be able to relate to people, and to get other people to see that we're all the same. We all can feel sad, we all can feel happy, we all can feel different things, but at the end of the day, we're still all the same. Even if I'm going through something and I'm just watching the dishes, and I think of, oh, the garbage disposal. And then I think, oh, I can write a song about that. And then I just start thinking of, words and melodies, and they just come together, and and then it's a song, and then you go and you're like, oh, it's a song. And so it's like, and then I don't know, it's just anything, just like anything can be art. You heard about the toilet, the guy that said, okay, well, I'm just gonna, take this toilet, I'm gonna sign my name on it and say it's art. It's just like that, because you can make music out of anything. I so love that I'm living in this generation, because you have a lot more opportunities, you have a lot more possibilities with what you can do. So, sometimes, of course, like some people, they get bored and they're like, oh, I need to go on a hiatus and just not, I need to rest. And so of course that happens. Sometimes I don't want to do anything. I just need like a mental detox, but it always comes back. It always comes back. I mean, I've tried multiple jobs. I've tried several things that sway me away from music, but then I'm sitting there, I'm like, I would rather be doing music. I would rather be writing music. I would rather be singing. So it always comes back. It's the muse. It's what it. Nope, get back here. You want this. Say, the faster you just accept it, the faster you're gonna get where you want to be. Doing what you love. I think you should never give up on what you want. Don't ever give up. Don't ever sacrifice your desires or your love for anything else, because I've heard too many people tell me, and they're like in their 50s, they're in their 60s, they're grown up, or they have kids, and too many times I've heard people say, I should have tried it. I should have tried at my dream. And I mean, I would never say, oh, you had kids and you're busy, because that's beautiful and that's a beautiful part of life. But you should never give up. You should never give up, because it's just going to eat at you. And I've met people that are like, I've met a guy that was in his 50s, and he's a lawyer, and he was in a band, and he was just, man, he was touring, and he was big in the Philippines and this and that, and he's like, you know what, but I had to quit because my mom told me to come back to the States and become a lawyer, and then I got married, and then I had a kid, and then this and this, but now I play the piano, and I'm just reminiscing on the times that I was happiest, and if I could do it all over, I would do my dream. So, and I've battled with that so much, and I mean, luckily I'm still young, and I have time, but time doesn't last forever. So you have to do it. If you feel it, you have to do it, and you have to follow your instincts, and you have to go where the universe is taking you, and you have to do what you love, or else you're not going to be happy. So you have to do what you love. I'm Kat. You can find me at kattheartist.com, Kat with a K. Also, my Facebook page, Instagram page, and Twitter is Kat the Musician. Come see me at the Wakehouse. Oh my gosh.